To unpack what this means for the region, we're joined by Dr Johansein Rutaihwa, who's a Senior Program Officer for Industrialisation and Competitiveness at the SADC, at the SADC Secretariat. Dr Rutaihwa, a very good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us and welcome.
Evening to you, Paul, and it's a pleasure for me to be here today.
Thank you. As we get right in the middle of things, industrialisation, as we know, has been a SADC priority for years, yet intra-regional trade remains relatively low if we assess what's happening on the ground. What's going to be different this time around?
You're very right that the intertrade is still very low, and basically it's around the 18 to 19%. And what we trade more is on agro products. Unlike in the developing countries like EU, where intra-trade is about 60% of the trade, and they trade more on the manufactured goods. And South Africa, being one of the leading member states when it comes to manufacturing, is an opportunity for other member states to learn from South Africa, particularly on the last day of the factory visit, where we really appreciate what South Africa is doing to promote industrialization. And the manufacturing value added in SAA is much bigger if you compare with the other member states. Regionally, our MVA currently stands around 11%, which is even below during the adoption of the industrialization strategy. So what is going to be different at this time to ensure that we are able really to pull up our intertrade, that we are going to learn from South Africa. South Africa being our big brother, in our big sister in the region, stand a better opportunity to take the lead and show other member states what they've been doing in terms of promoting the industrialization across the region.
Yeah, because manufacturing is often described as the engine when it comes to economic growth, but many SADC countries still, even right now, rely heavily on exporting raw materials. How is that cycle going to be broken so that there is more value added within the region?
The region has adopted the regional value chains as one of the critical paths to ensure that we change the current statistic from exporting raw to exporting the added value products or the manufactured goods. And what are we saying in terms of the regional value chains? We want member states to specialize according to their competitive and not only comparative advantage. And this will entail member states we have to specialize in certain segments of the value chain. Take an example of the leather value chain, which is one of the longest value chain. You start with the animal husbandry, then you come raw hides and skin, then you come wetty blue crust, then the final leather. So we would have expected that member states, let's say countries like Botswana, Namibia, who have got a large population of cattle, they should be able to specialize on animal husbandry. And when it comes to, raw hides and skin, we're expecting other member states who have got more competitive advantage when it comes to, to abattoir and flaying of the skin. They should be able to take that, position. And then the wetty blue stage, which mostly you find most of our member states, they tend to export to India, to Italy. It should be remain in the region by ensuring that member states who have got that capacity, who have invested in technology to ensure that they're able to turn that raw hides and skin to be wet and then to the crust before it goes to the final product, they should be able to, to specialize that way. And like current situation where you find one country want to ensure that they take the whole value chain, which really is not helping the region. And when you look on the statistic currently, you find that we are at the lower end of the global value chain. That means we are contributing more on the raw material than the finished good. The price of leather, the raw hides and skin, is almost $1 to $6. But just one pair of shoes, which is coming from leather, it goes almost to $30, $40, and that is 1 square meter only to be able to make one pair of shoes. So if you count, a raw hides and skin, which has got almost, let's say, 12 square meters. So if you times by the price of one pair of shoes, which takes on 1 square meter, you find almost $100 that the region is losing by selling it almost for one to $6. So that's what we're. Mhm.
With small and medium-sized businesses creating the bulk of jobs in the region, we know that many of them then struggle to find, access to finance, markets, and even technology. And one of the key priorities is developing regional value chains. I mean, you've touched a bit on value chains. Where would you say are the biggest opportunities right now?
Currently, the region we were talking of the SMEs, but we never had a framework that is guiding how SMEs are going to be supported in the region, and this has been a critical issue to most of our SMEs, which basically we find most of them they're still in informal and not formalized, which makes very difficult to get the support from the government and the partners. Even we at the Secretariat, when we're talking of the business linkage program, to link them with the multinational company for them to be able to supply in those multinational companies like Toyota, and other vehicle company, it became difficult because we had never had a framework. But recently, the council and summit last year, it approved the SME strategy for the region, which guides how the SME should be supported. And on the pillars, the issue that have been highlighted is the same what we are saying. We have the pillar on financing, we have the pillar on entrepreneurship, skills and technology. We have a pillar on market access to address the NTB that these SMEs are facing. So the potential part that how we want to help the SMEs is first to ensure that they're equipped with that skills and the knowledge. Also, we have been advocating that let us SME be given the tax holiday or tax incentive. If the government is able to give under the service sector like the hotels, the tax holiday or tax incentive for 5 years, and after 5 years you find this hotel, they change the name, they keep on not contributing in the economy. Why don't we do the same for our SMEs? Give them the incentive 3 to 5 years and tell them you need to see them they are growing. After 5 years, you'll be able to start taxing them, and this would have broadened the tax base for the region, unlike depending only in few sources of the income. So what we are looking forward is to ensure that our SMEs are equipped with relevant skills and technology by linking them with multinational companies where they can be able to absorb that technology.
And very quickly, Dr. Rutaihwa, before we let you go, as we know that this event feeds into the upcoming SADC summit, what outcomes or perhaps even commitments are you hoping will emerge?
Looking on the heavy program that we'll be having for the week, the critical area that we're going to discuss is more on the critical minerals, infrastructure, and agriculture. But one of the keys that I'm hoping that it will come out very clearly is the promotion of the corridor in support of the regional value chain. We've been talking of the North-South corridor. We have the Lobito corridor, but we have not been in a position really to utilize the potential that are coming out of this corridor. So we are expecting the business community who are going to drive this week, they will be able to come up with a concrete issue that they want to see we from the public policy we are able to implement for them to take advantage of this existing the new formulated North-South corridor and the Lobito corridor.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thanks for summing that down for us.